I'm here for you.
Coach, obviously you guys had to shuffle the O-line again, moved around Harry and Simon and put McKenzie in. How pleased with you? I mean, I know maybe weren't running the ball as well, but as the game went on, you guys really, especially in the second half, Stevie got going. Just how pleased with you that these guys kind of came through and you stuck with it and it became a positive for you?
Yeah, I think it started with early in the week where, we knew what we had to do and McKenzie came in and we just shifted the line around and they just had a nice solid week. I thought as the week went along, they got better, got more comfortable with each other, and I think that was actually how the whole offense kind of evolved throughout the week too. Tuesday, there was just a lot of stuff that we were throwing at them because we knew we were going to see a lot of different looks from Maryland and up front, and as an offense as a whole, I think we just continued to progress. And then in the game, I just think they held their own early, got a feel for what they were seeing and the speed of the game, and like you said, in the second half, the run game became very important. It just kind of shifted that way, the way that they were playing us defensively, and got Stevie going, and that was a big part of, I think, us holding on to the football. I think 7-minute drive there in the fourth quarter, keeping the ball away from them. So I was really pleased with that. It took a lot of pressure off of our skill guys, our receivers, and Peyton, as the game went along. So really like the way that they handled it, and hopefully we get Hunter back, plan on getting Hunter back hopefully this week.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the logistics of when Mike gets hurt and Peyton has to come in? I mean, do you have, if it's Peyton, sheets in your playbook or things like that, or you just go with the flow?
I go with the flow, but you just know what he feels comfortable with. I think having been around him and we go through practices and having played a few games now, I really know what he feels comfortable with and how he attacks things, and he can use his legs, as we saw in some critical moments, and converted some third downs with his feet, and also in the run game, in the zone read part of it. Did a nice job keeping the defense honest to where they couldn't just come down on Stevie. So I do know it's not like I have a separate sheet just for him, but I know what he excels with and what he's better at.
Just following up on Peyton, Coach Allen was talking after the game that you just tell during the week how locked in he is, and being a backup quarterback, that can be a hard thing to do. I mean, What do you see from Peyton throughout the week, and how exceptional is he in terms of his focus?
He's an ultimate teammate from the team's end of it, and just as a coach, what a pleasure to coach him each and every day. When I walk in, he's the same guy now as I imagine he was last year when he was the starter from the beginning, and so it just I know that he's going to be ready to go. There's no doubt about it in my mind, and in practice. If you see him throw, the completion percentage that he has in practice, especially in the Rutgers week, was through the roof. Maybe the best completion percentage. We track every throw the quarterbacks make. We know exactly by the end of the week how many times they've thrown the football and what the scenarios were. If it's routes on air, one-on-ones, team, Skelly. And I don't know if I've seen a completion percentage as high as his was in the Rutgers week. And it was extremely high again last week, and it has been. So he's just locked in, and I was just really happy with how both quarterbacks, when they got their chance coming onto the field for their first snaps, how completely locked in they were on the game plan. And then the different looks that they were seeing and knowing exactly what to do, knowing who to go to, where their matchups were, and it showed. It showed because there was really very few wasted plays. Yes, there's times when a throw could have been just here, and that would have been a little bit better play, but that's human error, and I can't fault that. We go through the game film today, and it was hard for me to find mistakes they made that were mental. It was just almost impossible to find. So I was really happy with Peyton, and it's a huge tribute to him being ready to go because that's a hard deal.
Kind of following up on a lot of the questions about quarterbacks, I know you can't do this, but if you combine Peyton's numbers with Michael's numbers, they'd be top two in the league in yards, touchdowns, and completion percentage. Are you surprised, especially when you split it between two guys, how quickly the quarterback position has sort of absorbed this offense and been able to execute what you want those guys to do?
Right. I am, and I'm not, because I just think the game is sometimes difficult at this level to see, and you need reps. And neither one of them has gotten the number of reps that I would love to have had, whether it's because of injury or because, Peyton's taken a lot of the twos, and when Mike's been ready to go, he's gotten, the majority of them. So I do feel like systematically it's something that our guys can pick up, and we do different window dressing, and the way we talk in the room I think is efficient to where they can understand what the game plan is and what our goals are as a quarterback in this offense. But it does surprise me just because they haven't gotten as many reps, each of them, with the guys they've had to play or gotten a chance to play with on game days. And so, usually you have some missed throws here and there, and all of a sudden, your completion percentage is hovering in that 55 to 60% range, but that hasn't been the case. And it's a tribute to the skill guys too, making plays for them.
You opened the game with Mike running the ball, and both him and Peyton ran a decent amount more than we've seen for most part of the season. Was that a game plan thing or just something that happened naturally?
What was the first part?
Both the quarterbacks running the ball more than we've seen.
Oh, yeah. No. Mike carrying the ball the first play. That's almost every play has that option for them to take the ball and just, and run with it, with our zone reads, and there's a mixed RPO in there, and just every team you play handles it differently and attacks you differently. And I told Mike I was so happy with how that first play of the game, he was ready to go. And, there's really about 4 different guys that could touch the ball on that first play. And, he was the guy that ended up with his hands. And I just love that there's that confidence that he and Peyton have to take off and run with it when the right opportunity presents itself. And then there were some other ones that, throughout the game, like you said, Peyton, the zone reads and things like that he took advantage of when the right opportunity came as well.
Yeah, I know you had a background in South Dakota. Have you ever coached in that stadium in Nebraska? And as far as the challenge of the communication there in terms of, dealing with what's going to look like on the other side?
I haven't. I've never coached there. I've been to one game there a long time ago when I was younger, but never coached there. No. You bet. Thank you.